Hello Aries, Aries rising and Aries moon people. This is your weekly astrological and card horoscope for the week starting April 3rd, 2017. And a quick reminder for you guys, remember your April horoscopes are up for monthly astrology. They're on the special playlist on the main channel page. You know, I like to remind people every so often. And of course, if you ever want to get a session with me, you do need to go to my website, integrativemysticism.com, where you schedule yourself. It's a self-schedule system. You get to see availability and everything right there. So what is going on with this week's astrology? Well, this week we've got a lot of really pleasant angles that I think a lot of people are going to be very happy about, especially as we get into the latter half of the week. On Wednesday, we have Mars, planet of action and energy, in Taurus, in your earned income sector, giving you all kinds of, extra opportunities to make some quick cash, some overtime money, forming a wonderful trine with Pluto, currently in your 10th house of career. And it looks like you're going to get a chance to try on, for size, a higher position, possibly even a different kind of opportunity where maybe you're getting paid more for a certain amount of hours or a certain amount of time that you're putting into a project that could actually be sort of, again, like taking a promotion for a test drive, taking some kind of advancement or raise or new job profile for a test drive. It's a really nice turn of events that's being put on the table for you. Later on in the week, we've got the Sun currently in your sign in Aries, forming an opposition to Jupiter in your 7th house of partnerships. And whenever the Sun makes an opposition to Jupiter, it's not necessarily a bad thing. But what we need to pay attention to is where, sometimes our eyes are bigger than our stomachs when it comes to what we and a partner or we and a crush are trying to do with our united plans in our love life. Or this could be a business partner, a best friend, roommate, all of those kinds of things. We have some kind of unexpected gift or unexpected boon coming, whether it's, again, it could be in the form of time off, it could be in the form of availability like that, even an opportunity to take a trip or maybe some extra money. And we've got to make sure that we are using this wisely. We don't want to, procrastinate the use of this wonderful boon, but at the same time, we don't want to put ourselves in a position where, we are, kind of using it up all at once, because sometimes what can happen is sometimes we kind of burn the candle at both ends, or we just kind of, we kind of treat it like it's going out of style. So be careful about how we, how do we find a way to make this last longer than just this moment of Friday and Saturday is the question we got to ask ourselves. So what is going on with your cards then this week? Well, for your spiritual advice, we got the card of Freyr, which does talk about long-term benefits, grounding things, planting roots for long-term contentment, long-term wealth, and long-term peace. And so it kind of carries a lot of that same energy of that Sun opposite Jupiter. Do we, just because we have it, do we need to, spend every hour of every waking day working with this thing or this person? Do we have to spend all the money that we have because we have it? Do we have to spend all our available time kind of, how do we start getting things to be more secure, and grounded? Because when we talk about groundedness, we talk about longevity, we talk about, say, things that are evergreen. And for this week, it's kind of saying, how do we start getting things in those orders? Sometimes people go really fast to get to a place of feeling more secure or feeling more gratified, but remember, Venus is still retrograde, and so sometimes we're just kind of going with the Venus retrograde impulse, but it's not for real. The nice thing about the Freyr card is that we need to be focusing, again, on how do we make everything last the test of time, and everyone's going to be willing and able to finally work that out. So it doesn't have to be impulsive, it doesn't have to be short-term, it doesn't have to be instant gratification. And again, we're getting a lot of goods this week, so we don't want to, again, spend it, treat it, work it like it's going out of style. It's not going to be taken away if we don't use it all up right now. For your Earth sector, when it comes to your work and finances, we do have the Page of Swords reversed. This week there could be some issues going on where there might be some bad math going on. Maybe even literally bad math. Or perhaps even just poor analysis or poor articulation. Usually with the Page of Swords reversed, we've got people coming to conclusions about, maybe a situation going on with a coworker or a client, where money's coming from, how much is there. or even a job description. Now the Page of Swords reversed doesn't mean it has to be the end of the world, but it looks like there's some hype that needs to be kind of siphoned through or, sifted through. If you're looking for a new job, what job is being posted or advertised is not in entirety the job that you are going to get. Does that mean it's bad? No, but again, it looks like somebody may have been just sort of, letting their mouth do all the work. With the Page of Swords reversed, we can often see as well, again, a need to correct a mistake, or correct maybe bad intel given to you. Sometimes we all work with people, we can, if we work with a client or a customer who's deliberately omitting information, they're not giving everything they can to make the best of a situation. Maybe they're doing it because they want to look a certain way, or they don't want to give up a certain bit of information, they want to keep that in confidence. It can be seen as a lack of cooperation this week, and it may be hard to help yourself help them if they're not bringing, again, everything that they need to contribute to the table, and so we might be butting some heads there. For your communications with air, when it comes to your friends, your relatives, and the others in your life, we have the Five of Swords reversed. And this could actually show up as an apology. This could show up as patching up. This could show up as working on trying to heal or relieve ourselves, or a partner, or a friend, or a lover, or something like that, of a conflict that may have been, maybe it's not a full-on conflict, maybe it's not a full-on fight, maybe it's just tension underneath everything, kind of a Cold War kind of energy. And with the Five of Swords reversed, we have people wanting to patch up. We have people wanting to bury the hatchet this week. If there has been an ongoing tension, even a low-key hostility, the Five of Swords reversed says everyone is going to be willing to break bread this week. And so should you. For your challenge this week with fire, we do have the Three of Swords reversed. This is a week where we need to be careful not to cover up obvious issues or obvious dysfunctions for the sake of peace. Now that might sound a little contradictory, but the truth of the matter is, with the Three of Swords reversed, sometimes we will go out of our way to avoid an unpleasant conversation or a compromising situation, and we'll kind of cover it up with a coat of whitewash, okay? And that, for those of you who might not know what that expression is, it's basically trying to paint over a flaw instead of repairing it. If there's a crack in the wall, don't put a coat of paint on top of it. Figure out how to seal that crack in the wall, so to speak. And your challenge this week with fire is sometimes people, even if they are interested, again with that Five of Swords reversed in terms of patching things up, they may be trying or rushing too hard to patch things up without actually fixing the problem, And that can be something we can all relate to. Sometimes people want to, we want to have peace in the family, peace in the friend group, peace in the relationship, so we just kind of let's just drop it and start anew. Well, if the problem's still there, or it has a chance of coming back, then we haven't settled it for good. And that's something that does need to be kept in consideration, because we don't want to pretend it like it's happening for the first time every time, especially if it happens over and over again. For your emotions with water and your romantic life, we do have the Star card reversed. This card can actually be very nice because, even though the Star card reversed can indicate a delay on some kind of achievement or gratification wherever it falls, it does talk about the fact that it's still coming. Now this could be good news for those of you who are single and looking, because we could actually start talking to somebody this week, or be introduced to somebody this week, or have a prospect put in front of us this week. But with the Star card reversed, it is saying, slow it down or be prepared. This isn't ready to mature all the way just yet. Okay, so again, kind of like that Sun opposite Jupiter, we don't want to just be rushing to the finish line just because the feelings are there. The Star card reversed is saying the best is yet to come. The same goes for those of you who are currently coupled. There could be, again, something laid on the table this week for you and your sweetheart that we can actually get done better, or maybe even have better later if we wait. As opposed to try and hurry it along now, we may be getting less than we could. And this could end up being, again, maybe this is a move situation. Maybe our partner, maybe we're thinking about getting a house. Maybe we're thinking about moving in together. Maybe we're thinking about what to do with our children. Pay attention to the Star card reversed. A better opportunity may be on the horizon, which may make us question whether or not we want to necessarily just cash in right now. So that is your horoscope, Aries. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it. And of course, if you ever want to get a session, you can always follow the links below, or go to integrativemysticism.com. ScarletMoonMagic.com.